Hey guys, welcome to the Fighters Replay. I'm Rob, this is Kay, and I'm sorry if you just saw me spit, but you know, that was for all you MILF mommies and all the muscle mommies. Welcome to MILF Mondays. Man, I love fighting. Today we're going to get started with UFC NOCHE, Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva. We're going to start with Santiago Luna.
Oh yeah, they set off that main card hot. Well, first off, the prelims were really good too. Like shout out the prelims. But I really want to talk about this main card. Luna versus Lee got dropped early on in the fight. Came back with a round 1 TKO stoppage. Just such a performance, way to set off the card.
You know, Alexander Hernandez with the TKO win over Diego
Lopes.
A month turnaround after fighting Chase Hooper and finishing him. It's a really good win streak that Alexander's building himself off of.
Absolutely. And then, like, think about Rafa Garcia, another unranked lightweight that, you know, is getting these good fights and good wins.
Yeah, that
he got the win over Jared Gordon. That was a fucking war, dude. Seriously, he was
heavy boxing going on in that fight.
Absolutely. Just
beautiful.
Taking a lot of damage and giving a lot of damage back. And then, you know, caught Jared coming in, right timing, ground and pound, ended the night. But I think the one that I think everybody wants to really talk about is that main event. Diego Lopes and Jean Silva. A really anticipated matchup. Two very hot prospects in the featherweight division right now. Diego Lopes coming off of a loss to Alexander Volkanovski for the vacant title. He came back with vengeance, dog, and absolutely stole the show. Such a dominant performance, but like, it's dominant, but in the sense of it was also just really talent. It was just really technical. You know, Jean Silva really brought the technicality to the fight and brought a lot of threats. He was really starting to hit Diego.
Jean Silva really showed a lot of, like, he showed that his striking level in the game of MMA is truly on that level. But you know, when it comes to
the grappling
went all the way through to Diego with the way he was able to do some real damage in that first round. And wow, holy fuck. And you know, Jean Silva, he wanted to get that back because that's the fucking fighter in him. And Diego was able to catch him coming in with that spinning elbow, man. I think that goes to show just how high you can level up, especially after fighting greatness like Volk, you know? You see how Diego is now starting to show more facets of the game. You know, he's throwing fucking spinning elbows now. On top of having power.
After Jean was throwing them again and again and again, and he came in up against the cage, it was just, you know, absolutely insane.
I feel like this is really an instance where I know Jean Silva lost the fight, but I just don't feel like neither fighter truly lost, because I feel like they both really displayed all, like, facets of their game. Showed where their levels of their games are at. You know, we truly got to see, you know, where the truth lies in them. Right now, Diego is the truth, and right now Diego has it going on. Jean Silva might take a little bit of time to get there, but he showed that he is on the level with the high contenders of featherweight. But Diego right now is a threat to everybody, regardless of who it is, even should he get a rematch one day. But I don't think he's going to get the rematch, because the featherweight division has a lot of people right now. It's popping.
It is popping, especially that top 5. I mean, it's hard to really say who's going to get the next title shot. I don't think Diego's far from getting a rematch if Alex, you know, waits and goes for Diego. But everybody's been saying that Mosvar gets the next title shot, which I don't really think that they're going to give him the title, especially considering with his pullout of the fight of 𝕃ove. But then Lemon Murphy took the fight with 𝕃ove on a different date, TKO'd him, and he's, I think, ranked number 4. We got Yair Rodriguez in that mix. Like, Yair Rodriguez and Diego Lopes, that would be a fun fight. They kind of got their beef. They are really skillful. But once again, just kind of to go back to Diego Lopes, I want to really just say he showed some amazing grappling. But more especially MMA grappling. mixing in the strikes, the ground and pound, the elbows. Like, he was really capitalizing off of these positions and into transitions, and it was just so beautiful to watch. And it's like, this is what people like really want to see. Like, this is, you know, for all the people who bitch and complain about, you know, people who grapple and stuff like that and they can't understand it, like, that was to a point where it was like you could very well understand it. Diego was dominating him on the ground and was, you know, just really capitalizing in an area that he knew he could capitalize in. But the fight on the feet was just so back and forth, so high paced, and, you know, Diego caught him. But on to me just saying that I think the Yair matchup would be good there. You know, Mosvar definitely needs to get a fight somewhere or step up out of the way. Leron Murphy, you know, he's always game. He's always ready. Undefeated prospect there. Aljamain Sterling is high in the rankings too, coming off of the win to Brian Ortega, which is just, you know, everybody's known he's been at the top for, you know, just such a long time, has kept that top 5 position, but now he's starting to slip down because these featherweight matchups are getting done, you know, and that's what we need to continue to do is get these rankings moving. You know, there's too many fighters that are a little too complacent in their position. Like, respectfully, why do we have somebody who only fights once a year and has only gone to a decision in the number 1 position? Just a good question. But nonetheless, they have it the way they have it, and they have reasons why, so I'll let the pros do what the pros do. The UFC is just popping off right now, but the UFC Fight Pass fights have also been popping off too. If you guys don't tune into that, it's a nice little subscription to have on the side. You get a lot of bonus promotions where you can catch a lot of these prospects on the rise before the UFC, before the Contender Series, you know, before the Ultimate Fighter. Like, these are some really talented guys that are putting it on the line here too at these other promotions. But one in particular that I feel like we've been showing extra love to recently has been the LFA. They had LFA's 217 on this weekend. Gable Stevenson made his MMA debut. 1-0, baby. One and done, and that's all he needed. Easy takedown. Just such a smooth transition to it. And just heavy ground and pound, you know, and that's just so dangerous in a heavyweight fight, you know. He was able to get around that striking and get to that takedown, you know. It's going to be entertaining to see how he progresses as a mixed martial artist if he continues to run this path. You know, he's young, he's up and coming. Like, that dude definitely has all the potential in the world, and I think he has the perfect platform.
Youngest heavyweight Olympic gold medalist, very highly decorated wrestler. And, you know, he's training with the best of the best. He has John Jones in his corner. It's going to be really exciting to see where he goes next. Because, you know, like you've said in the past, he is a smaller heavyweight. He's 6'1". So that'll be interesting to see how they negotiate that with his career, you know, going forward.
You know, another one, too, is the Cage Warriors 193. George Hardwick took away the win. You guys may recognize the name. We talked about it last week with Harry Hardwick making his UFC debut. Tough loss, but nonetheless, I think that the Hardwick brothers will both be together in the UFC one day. What happened? We got half of it already. I think that both of them have a lot of potential talent. Really dogged it out, got that round 2 TKO. So, you know, just with performances like that, you know, he's going to get, you know, those opportunities back again on, you know, the Contender Series. And so just happy to see, you know, these fighters like rise, like watch them grow into, you know, into the UFC and watch them break onto the scene and, you know, build onto these amazing careers. Like, you know, especially with this main event, something that was like so crazy as I was like, wow, like I really feel like I've watched both of these guys' careers, like, you know, with Lopes and Silva. Like, I was like, I've watched them from the very, you know, beginning of whatever, and, you know, then moving up. So, you know, just good to capitalize off of those types of promotions. And while we're on the subject of like on the road to the UFC type topic, because I know we also want to cover our other combat sports and other things that happen. The UFC is a big, huge topic, and we are really deep and embedded in the UFC, so we will definitely give our thorough overview. With that being said, we had Dana White Contender Series Week 5 totally pop off. All the fighters brought their all to the fights. But one that I wanted to mention specifically was the Cheyenne Dyer and Carol Foro fight. Just a war, man. Just a war. Both girls winning the contract. Just, absolutely put everything on the line. Showed how much passion and heart and, grit has to go into this. And, just props to them, seriously. Also, shout out to the guy that said that he would suck Dana's toes for the contract. I wonder if Dana actually took you up on that offer. Report back. Blink twice.
Straight for him. We went straight to the room and oiled up for him.
He said, okay.
He said, bet.
But Dana White dipped his toes into some other worlds this weekend, though, in the absolute all-time great versus the all-time great Canelo versus Crawford. Crawford getting it's such a beautiful win, such a beautiful display of boxing, just talent from both ends. They both brought their everything. Both were on top of their games, and Crawford was just that extra step. He was really just fast. He was hitting them on these corners. He was catching them on these, on the way in, on the way out. Like, he was just on one, and it was just such a good fight to watch.
Canelo really is a great fighter, and Terrance Crawford is also a great fighter. But I think tonight elevated both of their legacies so much more.
Absolutely.
Crawford has reached a new level. 3-time weight division undisputed. No other fighter has ever done that before. All 4 belts, 3 different weight classes. That is insane. And I think, me personally, I think that Crawford is top 10 all time after this. And there's a lot of people that agree with this too. When we talk about Sugar Ray Leonard, when we talk about Muhammad Ali, when we talk about Hagler, Hearn, R.I.P. Ricky Hatton, we talk about our guy, Terrance Crawford, and this is the boxer of our generation. This is our great fighter that we get to witness. And much respect to both of these guys. It was a great fight, truly a work of art. Crawford showed such a high level amount of boxing in his years of experience. He showed inside work, he showed pocket work, outside boxing, inside boxing. Like you said, hitting him from angles. He was on his defense. And I think he showed a lot of durability at 168 too.
Absolutely.
He took some good shots from Canelo. Canelo bought his A game too. He came ready to fight. When it comes to a clash of styles, you can't say that he was necessarily that successful. But regardless, Canelo is a legend who always comes to fight and shows up. Because Canelo has only lost to fighters who are great. The greatest defensive fighter of all time, an all-time 175 all-timer great in 𝕃ove, and now a 3-time undisputed 3-weight division undisputed champ in Terrance Crawford, the best fighter of our generation. That's no knock on him, But Terrance Crawford, wow, what a performance. I can't say enough. I can't glaze the performance enough,
It's okay, continue. No, it was, like you said, it was just absolutely a work of art. Just something to really watch. I think it's really cool that, Netflix is starting to show these boxing fights and is starting to dabble their toe into, this viewership because, it's A, getting really good funding from what we're seeing, and B, it's also like spreading eyes to the casual viewer. Like, my family who doesn't, really watch this stuff can see it when they log into their Netflix and they're like, oh, a fight's going on? Like, oh, I might watch in, like, I might tune in, I might, so it's cool to get these other casual eyes into the sport and just, have them, see what it's like when 2 people, bang it out, put their hearts on the line, put their, bodies on the line and, come out and perform at the absolute highest level. And that's exactly what both of these guys did this weekend. I don't think either one of them should really walk away and feel like you know, this is definitely not a situation where I think like Canelo should definitely walk away and feel disappointed in this loss. I think it was just such a performance from Crawford, and for him to just capitalize on all areas, just really showing just in the absolute most elite level of boxing.
Another fighter I want to talk about in his performance is Inoue. He's on a great run right now.
Yeah.
Inoue is a great example of a championship level fighter that is producing his own greatness at his own rate right now. He only moved up to this weight class about 3 fights ago, and so far he has been getting finishes, and he has been facing challenges. He's been getting dropped at this weight class too, but every single time he has gotten back up, he has showed his wit, his heart, and he has showed his IQ, and he has shown that he can make adjustments. It's on the fly. The way that he is able to box is it's amazing. I think it's really exciting to see whatever challenge is going to be next coming up for him, potentially in December.
Yeah, Inoue is ready to stay active and continues to take these matchups, the best of the best guys. I think that he just, like, you know, he's starting to get caught a few times, but like you said, it just goes to show their will and their, you know, heart to persevere through these, you know, through these challenges, through these adversities in the fight, and to be able to make these adjustments to, you know, win the fight. And, you know, he's just one of the absolute greatest. And at those smaller weight classes, it's so entertaining to watch them fight. It's just such a fast pace, and everything is just so crisp and so sharp, and it is really just, these guys are so dangerous.
I think while we're on the level of championship high level boxers, I think the last one we should talk about is one of Florida's own, Tiara Brown, who will be defending her belt for the first time on OTX 16 versus Emma Gongora. I think that Tiara Brown, after fighting Sky Nicholson, one of the most high-level boxers on the planet,
took her undefeated record.
Took her undefeated record and kept her O. I think that there's no way that she doesn't come into this bout, you know, even better than before. I think we're going to see a whole new level of Tiara Brown. I don't think that you cannot get better after fighting greatness, the same way that Diego showed us in the UFC NOCHE main event. I think that it's going to be really exciting to see her perform. It's going to be really exciting to see her follow up her last performance, and I'm excited, man. I know that Emma Gongora is going to want to steal the spotlight from her, and you know, I always love to be proven wrong too, you know. If an underdog can win, I will always appreciate an underdog. But, you know, we got our bias with our Florida, you know what I mean?
Hey, it's just, you know, it's just what it is. But all respect to Emma Gongora, you know, she's going to come in and be ready to, like you said, steal the show. And, you know, she's been known for taking it into these deep waters, you know, just pushing them, you know, to that point, to these long decisions. But Tiara's pressure is going to really, you know, it's going to push the pace. But, you know, if Emma can keep up with that, how long can Tiara keep up with that? It's going to be a really good clash either way. You know, these girls always put on 126, 125 is always just such an entertaining weight class. Some of the best of the best. You know, we got, I think we've mentioned it about a million times, but just another shout out. Valentina Shevchenko and Zhang Weili facing off. That's absolutely something that we're so excited for. So we will continue to shout that from the rooftops, because it just should be. It's an absolute banger. But there's always bangers going on, even if they don't got no UFC going on, which they don't this next weekend. They got some boxing fights coming up. Always got one Friday fights happening in the morning, but you can always rewatch them and just play them over like a regular fight night, because gosh, those are so worth it. We will be on our one championship glaze to the day we die. It is such a good promotion. But other than that, we got some other free YouTube fights going on. We'll put out some posts about those. Shout out those. But yeah, we'll be here every Monday on MILF. Man, I love fighting. Man, we love fighting. Man, you love fighting.
And we gonna be fighting if you don't like, share, and subscribe. And follow us at The Fighters Replay. So, much love to all you muscle MILFs and all you muscle mommies. And
we love you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Much love. Peace.
You can't break me, I got iron bones. My ground game will leave your mind blown. I'm ready to fight in any time zone. I'm the greatest, you can call me John Jones. Knocking clowns out like I'm Steve Payne. We can even fight on the freeway. I'ma leave him bloody right where he lay. This is The Fighters Replay.